Hello there, guys and gals. We are still, yep, might as well get used to looking at this sucker. The old SN66. We are doing four-wheel disc brake conversion. Well, we've already done the front, right? So we got our 8.8, and we got that out of the 94 SN95 Mustang. So there's a few things you need in order to make this work, okay, and work the correct way. Don't go grab some all thread and a piece of steel and make you a plate. I'm not, and I'm usually that kind of guy, but this is going to be, you know, a fun little possibly daily driver, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I went with Curry, and they sent me 3-inch U-bolts with the factory style plate. Well, you just look at it. Look how thick that sucker is. Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. All the hardware, all the fixings with her. That way, so whenever you mount it up in here, your shock will mount in the factory location. That's pretty snazzy, I thought. And even though it was pricey, I'm gonna say worth it already. Because, I mean, why not? Now, we're still planning on using these original springs until we snap one. We just gotta, you know, put some rebuild spray on her, or some Pour 15, whatever comes first. So, first things first, we're gonna cut this rear end out, and we're just gonna do it the easy way. Cut the U-bolts, and yeah, everything. I've already had this rear end out. The shocks are already disconnected. Vent hose has been, you know, deleted. Yep. And that's it in a nutshell. So the rear end is going to take about 15 minutes on a bad day. Then we'll bring our transmission jack in, put it right underneath the pumpkin, and just twist him on out of there. And then we got a mess, because this thing here, it needed an axle seal. I don't know if you guys saw that sitting over there, but if you see grease on your backing plate, pretty much, you know, all over your brake area, you got a wheel seal leaking. So we're gonna have to replace that. That's not a big deal. We can actually do that inside the car, which may be easier. I'm not sure. We're gonna clean it all out here, and yeah, we're probably gonna do that in the car, just because I like to party, you know, and I really want this four-wheel disc brake set up in there. And being that this is going to be four-wheel disc brake, you already know we're replacing the master cylinder. And if I haven't told you guys, we're stealing all of this stuff off the 94 model. This should fit. And this is right underneath, so that's going to work. And we're going to have to run some new lines. Of course, I'm not keeping the lines off that other car. But it's going to work, and it's going to work pretty darn good. Keep all of your junction blocks, like wherever this one went. Like this guy right here. I mean, this is what runs to the rear end there. Why not keep it and reuse it? Nothing says you have to, like, not reuse it, right? Unless it's all dry rot, and then don't reuse it. Get you a new one. But reuse as much of this stuff as you can. I don't know why you wouldn't. We're in the middle of cutting off all these brackets. Your ABS sensor, for some reason, I don't think you're going to need on a 66 model. Call me crazy, but you know, we're not going to need it. But we're going to cut these things off of here. The shock thing, whatever that is, we're going to cut that off of there on both sides. We've already taken off whatever the heck that front thing was, and we're going to cut these ears off too. And then I'm guessing we're going to throw him up in there. We also did one more thing. So I like, what the world was that? This thing did a little, anyway, it's still recording, so I guess it's good. I can't stand it whenever I see a car that has cross-drilled rotors up front and plain Jane, also plain Aunt Jane. You know, I see. I caught it. I didn't say it. That one don't count. So regular rotors in the back. So Amazonian hooked this up. And by hooked this up, I mean I bought them. And these were the cheapest ones I found for the rear. These were 57 bucks. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Especially since these are original and got grease and rust and they're factory. Get you a lot of cutoff wheels for this. You're gonna need them. And patience. Make sure you order some patience. Okay? Anyway, safety glasses, ear protection, gloves, and spirit fingers. We're gonna get this sucker out of here. And then we're gonna see how we need to do all this. We're gonna be cutting for a while. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, I'm not gonna show you because it's just gonna be with cutting wheel. I'm gonna cut there. Don't cut your axle tube if you can. This one to me doesn't necessarily matter. That one there does. So we're cutting high on the bracket. Then we're just gonna grind her down with an actual grinding wheel, not a cutoff wheel. There's a big difference. All right, well, we're gonna get busy, see what we got, all right? Wish me luck. I don't know if we'll get this done tonight or it'll be a 3 or 4 part or 12 part series. Let's just see. All right, so darn, we're going to come back out here tomorrow night. But anyway, I want to show you guys something. Look at here. This is what the 1-inch spacer on these Cobra R's. I think I kind of dig it. The only thing that kind of stinks is the rotor looks so small in these suckers. But that's okay. It's still, you know, cross-drilled vented rotor, so. And it's like nice and clean up in there. Oh, yep, you can't see any of that because it's dark. But it's all painted black and it looks good. I mean, that poor 15 does a heck of a job. But anyway, I just want to show you guys that, and we're going to get center caps, don't you worry. Make her look gooder again. But we did get the rear end out. It took, you know, 2 seconds along with that transmission jack. What else? We noticed that the steel band that's usually on this side had deleted itself, so we secured that with some zip ties, made sure it was in the right spot because of the rust mark, and we actually got all the brackets cut off of this puppy. And now we just got to grind these down flat, make them look good. We started Sawzalling on the ears, and we have smoked through 3 batteries tonight, and there's just, yeah, no, not going to happen tonight. Also, we found out why we had 3 sets of brake pads for the rear. That guy right there, about 100% sure she's frozen, because that guy would not do diddly. I don't know, maybe we can twist it in and magic will happen. Maybe it's because of this axle seal that was hosing. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that this rotor over here has never been off. And I'll tell you how I know. There's a little tiny clip. You guys see that little, it's crusty and rusty, but there's a clip that actually holds these rotors on from the factory. And it has never been off. So that's pretty cool. I'll probably end up breaking them and not reusing them, but I'm just saying they're there. So that's different. Anyway, so I'll come back out here tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll finish cutting off these ears, grinding down all those brackets, and possibly throwing her up in the chute there, seeing what we got. I need to weld the perches on. So maybe this is a 3-dayer. I don't really know. Tell you the truth, the rear end swap I usually do are pretty straightforward. Like, they are perfect matches and everything's wonderful with them. This one is totally different, I think. I don't know. It could be a perfect match. To tell you the truth, everything I read said that this thing, I believe, is 3 inches wider than that. I think. Unless the Mustang 8.8 is different than the Explorer 8.8. I don't know. I have no idea. So we're going to find out together. So far, I think I have chosen the right drive line, the correct year, the correct rear end. We don't have to cut it, you know, however meant 2.64 inches or whatever it was, and get another passenger side axle. That's how they narrow these ones for these cars, just so you know. Is you'll have to look up the exact measurements. I'm not sure, but they cut the driver's side tube. They order another passenger side axle, and it centers the pumpkin. Also used my jacks there because now I have my front tires up front, the front suspension all together, and there is absolutely no weight back here. Nothing. So this just makes me feel more gooder. You know what I mean? I don't know. To each their own, but excuse me, lights. Gosh. But anyway, that's my little tidbit on all that for tonight. We'll come back out tomorrow and do all that stuff and make it fancy. Sound good? See you guys tomorrow morning. No, I won't. I'll be at work. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. That sounds more gooder. All right? Get some sleep. We'll come back and do it again. All right, kids. I told you I'd be back, right? Well, we are. And we finally got done cutting off all the mounts and making her nice and shiny, see? I mean, look, you just look at it. That's so pretty. And I'm going to tell you right now, make sure the grinder that you're using is electric, like it plugs in, because you will eat through batteries trying to make that thing, you know, trying to narrow her down. I left about, you know, that much of bracketry on here, both sides, and I'm going to tell you, it still took me 3 Harbinese freight batteries that I drained. Yep, with the grinder. And then I went to straight electric because I needed my Sawzall to cut these ears off. And you're gonna wanna watch, make sure you don't dig in your axle housing, and make sure you got some lighting. Because if you don't, you can make a real bad boo-boo. Now, we're going to do something maybe untraditional. I'm not sure. My main goal is to get that differential over there. That four-wheel, this is going to complete our four-wheel disc, right? My goal is to get that puppy in here yesterday. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday. So I want it done like now, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to throw him up in here. We got these spring perches off of the Amazonian side, I think. They were like 20 bucks, and they are Speedway motors. They're for 3-inch, a 3-inch axle housing, tube, what have you. So I got those for a 3-inch. The Curry stuff is for a 3-inch. And you know, I measured my axle tube actually this time because I really didn't want to chase parts or anything anymore, and I was trying to spend as less as I could. Speedway motors, I mean, there's no need to go and spend real heavy money on these things whenever a perch is a perch is a perch, you know what I mean? So Speedway motors, I think from everything I'm seeing, it's pretty decent parts. Curry's really good. So CJ Pony also carries the Curry, just so you know. And I particularly am a fan of CJ Pony. You guys get me my parts to me ASAP, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you guys. You're really speeding up this project for me. But anyway, we're gonna get that sucker on here chain her down, hoist it up in there, and you know, we're going to set it down on here, and I'm guessing we're just going to have to measure, you know, the back spacing to get it perfect. Or we could measure that axle, but I'm kind of having a hard time just because, you know, yeah, I don't have two people here. And I know you probably don't necessarily need it. I think I read somewhere where the Mustang one is like 2 and some change bigger, like 2.5 inches bigger, 3. I'm not sure. So being that I don't have a backing plate, well, I guess I kind of do. I guess I can kind of measure that, but I'm still going to go with my original plan, as in far as throwing it up in here. I ground down the paint here, so whenever I do get it where I think it's correct, we're actually going to tack weld it there. I was actually going to try to line it up with that pinion snubber right here, because that right there should be center, right? Plus, you're going to want to set just a little bit of a pinion angle, about 3 or 4, somewhere in there degrees-ish. So we're going to try that, along with seeing where these things mount up, because that's where our perches will be, or rather the mounts. The mounts, not the perches. These are the perches. Anyway, so hopefully I can get that thing lifted up on here, and we can hoist it up in there and see what in the world's going on. Oh man, wish me luck. So here we go. Okay, so full discretion, it took me a minute to figure out the whole math thing, okay? We got it in there is what I'm getting at, but we couldn't figure out why this was so much different than that and what the heck was going on. So what we did, we actually ended up measuring a bunch, and we have come up with the conclusion that from the back of this plate here to about dead center of this is 3 5/8. I picked a number that was closest to the mark and I rolled with it. That's exactly what I did. And I wanted to make sure that this come up 3 5/8 as well, and it did. So now that we have this where it needs to go, and we know it's 3 5/8 because it equals the same on both sides, the one thing you may want to do, just you do you, I'm gonna do me, measure your axle at the same spot on both sides. I measured from here to the backing plate in between these 2 bolts. Okay, I measured there because it gave me a standard, you can't go wrong kind of measurement. This axle, I believe, was at 54 1/4, I think it was. That one down there, from where I measured, was 52 1/8, I believe. Now, granted, this is a disc brake, that's a drum brake. We're kind of reading off 2 different things, especially since this is a different type rear end than this 8.8. But roughly, you get what I'm getting at. You're going to have to set your perches at a different spot. Also, one other little tidbit, you may not want to have your pinion pointed downward like this. You see how she's down? We don't want that. That's a perfect recipe for you're going to cut them perches off and order you some new ones. I hope you guys can see that. There we go. See how that's angled downward? You don't want downward dog, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to angle him up just a slight little bit. 3 degree-ish is, you know. And we're going to see what that do. I went ahead and marked the axle tube where I'm going to weld it on both sides, inner and outer on both sides. That way, and I'm going to remeasure it too. That way, so I got 3 5/8, because you don't want this thing off. It's going to really wear on your differential, your tires, your whole alignment of the car. You ever see them cars look like they're driving sideways down the road? Yep, This right here, that's what's going on there. They didn't get the differential. They got it all cattywampus. And there's no need to. You know what I mean? Do a little bit of measuring. I even did math and it was scary. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it actually adds up on both sides, the correct number. So I got that going for me. And we're going to set this pinion to where we think it needs to be. We're going to tack weld these babies, put our plates on, and we're going to have installed a 8.8 and a 4-wheel disc brake setup on our 66 Mustang. So, you know, I'm feeling pretty good, really good about this. And the good thing of it is this spacing right here is really going to make the tire way out right in here-ish, which is going to be perfect for fender flares. The fronts, I kind of wish they stuck out a little bit more, but that's okay. We may just leave those be and just flare the rear. I'm not sure yet. You know, we're gonna play it by ear. Shoot, we might not even end up running these wheels because, you know, I might have another idea in mind. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get this pinion set while not moving this rear end everywhere. Probably not gonna happen, but we're gonna attempt to do that. Aim small, miss small, right? Okay, well, here we go. All right, wish me luck. Okay, so again, we're not 100% sure what we're doing, but we got a little bit of idea. So what we did was we took a straight edge, dropped her straight down from here, made sure it was level, and then we measured from the stud to this line right here, right? On both sides. That is going to be our offset for 1, and for 2, if we have the exact same number there and there, we should be centered, right? So I got 2 1/4 on both sides. So 3 5/8 was not correct at all, I don't think. It was real close, but no, it's not enough. So yeah, well, I mean, it kind of was, but it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was on. Shoot, those marks are still there. Maybe I just mismarked this side. I don't know. Either way, we got what we got, and that's a lot. And yeah. So the pinion angle. You want this at about 3-ish, 4-ish degrees, which is not much. You do not want it pointing straight down. You don't want it pointing straight up. Man, that's a lot of rust. Look at that. Anyway, ADD, something shiny happened. But you want this thing at a slight kilter at 3-ish degrees. My degree thing is missing. I don't know where the heck I put it. So what I'm going to do is go off the pinion snout there whenever I do find it, and we're going to go for level on this part and see where we are here-ish. I think that's how it's going to work. I don't know. That, or I'm just going to say close enough, tack it, and then live and regret my decision later. Another thing that I was doing, guys and gals, total discretion here. I'll share it with you because I don't care. So another thing I was doing, this is the tunnel in which the dry shaft would be going through. If this sucker is way over this way or way over this way, you're going to have issues. And it looks like she's like pointing straight at old dad. So I think we're good. I hope we're good. That's the reason why I'm only going to tack weld it. Just in case, you know, old dad's math ain't the greatest, which it's probably not. So, like I say, I do a lot of first times for me's. That sucker there was basically a factory swap. You know, not really that much difference between the 3rd and 4th gens, period. They mount up the same, all that jazz. We're taking different brackets, we're welding on perches, we're doing everything. This is just it's intense because I want it right. I want it correct. So, I mean, looking down this way, it looks like it's gooder. I hope it's more gooder. So we're going to continue this path that we're on, and hopefully it's not a path of destruction. And we're going to throw little tack welds there on both sides. Then we're going to put our mounting plates in, and we're gonna see what happens, I guess. Because soon we'll be dropping the motor in it, transmission in it, and seeing how everything aligns. If it aligns great, awesome. If it don't, you know what I mean? I mean, for reals. Everything I've done makes sense math-wise. You know, with this lining up to there, making sure the bubble is centered. If I got the exact same number on both sides, I mean, I'm trying to convince myself that that's good. I mean, neither one of the quarters is like wrinkled or anything right there where I measured. So, you know, in theories it makes perfect sense. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's got an opinion out there, so if you guys got a real good how-to-dos, throw her down there. Believe me, this is definitely my first time doing any of this stuff, so what the world. I mean, if it works, it works. If it don't, I'm not giving up. I'll just do it again, you know? All right, give me a few minutes. We're gonna tack, put our plates on. We're gonna put a lipstick and a dress on this pig and call it a night, all right? Give me a few minutes. Finally, we get to wrap it up, okay? So, we got her mounted. I absolutely love these Curry mounts. We did just tack weld it really, really small, like in 3-4 places, not very much. We're pretty sure we nailed it pretty good though. I mean, the pinion is not sitting way high, it's not sitting way low. It looks pretty much even, and that's good. These mounts, man, I love. They are going to stick. I mean, right there's the original shock. As you can see, it's been deleted, but you know, she's going to go right there. Make sure when you mount these up, you align your hole with the shock, or the this thing, yeah, the leaf spring stud that sticks down through. That way, so you don't hurt your leaf springs, and you know, just makes them happier. So next on the agenda for this, we're gonna have to do axle seals, because that side is hosing, if you remember me mentioning that. So we'll be doing that, and I don't know if we're gonna have to do brake calipers also. I'm not sure. That one over there, we're not so sure it likes to return, so that's good. Anyway, that wraps this one up. We now have, can I say it? I'm gonna say it. We have 4-wheel disc brakes, not functional yet, but we have 4-wheel disc brakes setups on our 66 Mustang. How freaking cool. I think that's awesome. Anyway, guys, if I was you, I would absolutely go with the 3 ounce, my goodness, 3-inch mounts and the Curry 3-inch U-bolts. You can get them off eBay, CJ Pony Parts. These things here, the Perches, I seriously think I paid 20 bucks, right at 20 bucks for both of them. Spend the money and get those mounts. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later, or you'll curse me because they're expensive. One of the two. Either way, they're what you need. And nobody could answer on there if these would mount an 8.8. I think we see our answer, right? Proof's right there, boys and girls. There she is in the car. So I'm gonna get this painted up in the meantime, get everything ready to finally, maybe accidentally, set this sucker down on all fours for like the first time in 5-6 months. That'll be nice. But anyway, before we do all that, we still have some stuff to do up in here. I think immediately we're going to I don't know if I want to run brake lines just yet. I think actually what we're going to do is do some metal patch, you know, some places. And then once we get all that complete, we're going to drop her down, put the brake booster, figure out how to do all that, run our lines, and you know, by then we might be ready to throw a 5-point slow in it. And that sounds really awesome to me. We still have our front patches to do up there. We got to build our front valance. We have plenty of YouTube gold left on this one. You know what I mean, Billy Nichols? Plenty of YouTube gold. And even our tail pan that we tore off like 7 months ago. There's a new one somewhere here. I don't know where, but it's here in the shop somewhere. Anyway, guys, I'm rattling. It's free. And I did do a lot of working, not a lot of talking, okay? So, anyway. I'm getting out of here. It's almost, it's almost morning. And I got to work in like 4 hours. So it's gonna be a good day. Productive, I can feel it. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV.